Hello and welcome into the Cafe Nightly Show. I am your host, the Goldsmith. It is the 19th of September, 2024, and we've got a few things of a little bit of excitement along the way. First and foremost, the revamp of the neighborhood ratings is out in Upland. Again, this is a kickoff of kind of this renewed focus on what neighborhood ratings mean in the game. We have a little bit of some changes for the moving forward, but we also have that promise that's been out there for over a year. That promise is that the people who earn a neighborhood collection, the neighborhoods that earn neighborhood collections, can now compete against each other for an increased value neighborhood collection. We'll get into that. Official XYO and Upland partnership. That is something that hasn't been announced in Upland, but hasn't been announced on Upland Twitter. It's been announced by XYO. We'll get into a little bit about XYO and Upland and some of the limited partnership opportunities that may be there. Again, XYO is a proximity-based or a location-based crypto, and with crypto mining based on geodata where you are, which is kind of exciting because it pushes the idea of real world in-person, either in-person ties or having verification of location or attending events or those type of things as being options. And we'll get into that as potentials, but reality is very limited news at this point. Reminder about everything that's going on for NFLPA. We did have another announcement here about the NFLPA 2024 fan score challenge. This dovetails, or this goes along with what we already have going on with NFLPA bundles getting announced, what we already have going along with a road to the big game, how that ties into both sparkler earnings and the potential competition with other prizes involved as well. So it's kind of interesting that we have this extra layer finally coming in. Said a couple of days ago that as we get more, likely there's going to be more competitions coming. Good to see you, Trees. Glad you're here. I'm just good to see it as well. And as we do jump in to get things off, going to get the disclaimer out of the way as we get through a lot of news here today. All these opinions expressed by myself and mine alone shouldn't be taken as game strategy or financial advice. They don't represent the game or the team of Upland. Any guests or contributors who we do have on, they have their own views and they're welcome to them. They shouldn't be taken as game strategy advice. They represent myself, the Goldsmith, the Cafe Nightly Show. They should be taken as financial advice. And of course, they don't represent Upland or the team of Upland. All right. I want to get right into taking a look at the new announcements today. Take a little review of the last couple of days because I didn't get too in-depth in some of these announcements, and then kind of do a little bit of a deep dive on some of the things that come together and tie some of these things together. Not so much speculation, but just the reality of a couple of these pieces and where we're looking at Upland 2024. I should say Upland September 19th, 2024, where we are today with some of these new pieces that are dropping in place. Let's take a quick look at the first announcement here. Easiest and first, we're going to start with a neighborhood update because this is something that has been promised. It's something that people have been waiting for. The details are new, but the promise, but the idea, the concept, it isn't. It is something that we've known about and we've been waiting for. We're excited to announce the big stage, the upcoming big stage for Upland's neighborhood rating contest. It does go live the 1st of October and just in time for the harvest season. This new event, called the Upland Collection Upgrade Challenge, offers a thrilling opportunity for top-rated neighborhoods to face off against each other and potentially upgrade their collections. This is more than just a new challenge. It comes with important upgrades to how neighborhood ratings will work moving forward. Here's what you need to know. The seasonal contest. Starting October 1st, both the neighborhood ratings contest and the new neighborhood collections upgrade challenge will be seasonally aligned. Again, seasonally aligned, we know a season is a month and a half with a 2-week rester in between, as opposed to a month, 30 days. So this is an important new distinction here. Winners will be crowned at the end of every season. So instead of monthly, we're looking at this being once every month and a half with a rest period in between. So we might as well say there's one winner every 2 months. The 6 winners per year. Yeah, one winner every 2 months is the easiest way to look at it. Again, keeping in mind that the seasons have a break in between each one, that no man's land, that 2-week rest period. This shift brings a consistent rhythm to the competition and aligns to the mechanic with the seasons. And it is interesting to happen. I just want to put one note. There's a lot of people who have been working and moving their way up the ladder when we talked about nodes and the nodes having done this and that and the other thing, learning to sync their actions with the requirements and where they lined up. And it is a little frustrating for some of those people who had gone from 10th in line to 7th in line to 6th in line. Maybe at one point they were 25th in line and they had done different things to move themselves up. And maybe they moved themselves up because other people who were first, they won and they went out of the race and they won their other race. But it's also very true that a lot of people were much lower, like it's 25th, 50th, maybe even, and they did different things to move themselves up the rank. Now that Upland is realigning this to only 6 times a year instead of 12 times a year, now the Upland is realigning things from how some of the characteristics are used to determine who is a top. They changed that rating for those people who have been putting a lot of work to get to the top of the ladder. It doesn't mean it's wrong. It doesn't mean it's right. It does mean that there's going to be some upset people because they were about there. They were second place, third place. And when these new alignments happen, they may be much further down the line because somebody else might be buoyed or propped up. Some neighborhood might be buoyed or propped up by the new rules. And I guess that's how it works. Maybe the new rules are better than the old rules. But just in having that shift, just in going from the old rules to the new rules, ultimately, you take a lot of the work that people had done for months, potentially over a year, and kind of change the value of that work. And that is frustrating. That's upsetting for a lot of people. And I'm sure we'll hear a lot about that over the not so near future when we see how these ratings kind of get shaken up a little bit. And we see, again, how we go from 12 a year to 6 a year, seeing how that affects what people or how people ascribe or put value into improving their standings. Maybe it makes it more exciting. Maybe it makes it last. We'll see how that comes up along the way. A reminder on seasons. Again, we have 6 during the year. We do have the Frost season, the Blossom season, the Genesis season, Sizzle, Harvest, and Wonderland. We just ended the Sizzle season on the 15th, a couple days ago. We're going to be moving into the Harvest season on the 1st of October that runs through the 15th of November, a 45-day season. And like I said, we have that 2-week rester. So we will have a new neighborhood champion, we can call him that, at the end of the middle of November, November 15th. So keep that in mind. That's what this next contest we're entering, from the 1st of October to the 15th of November. Fair play for all neighborhoods or neighborhoods of all sizes. We're introducing a balancing adjustment to the neighborhood ratings algorithm. In the past, larger neighborhoods faced a slight disadvantage. With this update, neighborhoods of all sizes, big or small, will have a fair chance to compete for rankings. Again, people who were smaller neighborhoods who thought they were 4th place, 5th place, thought that their time was coming, they may see their ranking slide down. That is definitely going to be frustrating for some people. That is something to know. Every time you have a change, it's going to disadvantage somebody. Paid sends now count. The number of paid sends within a neighborhood will now contribute to its overall ranking. This adds a new dynamic to neighborhood engagement, rewarding activity or active use of players in game mechanics. Essentially, if you have a node that has some tie to a layer 2 game, and people are going to your neighborhood for that layer 2 game, if you have a neighborhood that's very large and they have a lot of sends because of treasure hunting, or if you have a lot of sends into the neighborhood because you have a bunch of really active and heavily used meta ventures, those are all things that are going to be positive for you. And I think it's not a bad thing to contribute or a bad thing for Upland to use as contributory data to decide who's first place, second place, third place, who's getting that ranking and increase in ranking boost. Boost with the seasonal ornaments. This update also puts a greater emphasis on seasonal ornaments. The more structures in your neighborhood that showcase these ornaments, whether crafted by the community or provided by Upland, the more your neighborhood's rating will rise. Again, I like it. It's that we're talking about being tied to the season, the competition period being inside the season. Now we have some bonus inside that season for having the right ornaments up. Tying to the season makes sense in this way. Active players matter. Finally, we're also introducing a formula that takes into account the number of active players in your neighborhood. The more players who regularly log into Upland and have their home address set into your neighborhood, the better your ranking. This change rewards active and engaged communities. These updates, launching on the 1st of October, introduce a new layer of strategy and competition to the game. We'll continue to make tweaks and adjustments to further enhance and balance the experience as possible or as needed in the future. The thing here, like I said, is this is going to be an adjustment or a change from what we've seen in many months running up to now. There are people who are at the top of that leaderboard who've been waiting for their chance to be number one, waiting for their chance to get that collection. This is likely going to be an etch-a-sketch. This is likely going to shake things up and start kind of over. The people who put a lot of effort in, maybe they're going to still be pretty high in the rankings, but anytime you change any significant matter of rankings, when you have a different coefficient that's applied that is going to change or scale with the size of the neighborhood, that is going to significantly change who's where on that neighborhood leaderboard. Again, this is the important one. The upgrade challenge, this has been coming for a while. We're excited to introduce a neighborhood collection upgrade challenge. Kicking off on October 1st, this new competition allows nodes to compete based on their highest season-over-season percentage growth in overall neighborhood ratings. Only nodes that have earned a collection by winning the neighborhood ratings contest are eligible to participate. This is something that was talked about 2 years ago, or a year and change ago, when we got our first neighborhood collections. Now it's actually being implemented. When this competition launches, the top-ranked neighborhoods receive a UPX earnings boost, effectively increasing their collections, while the bottom-ranked neighborhoods receive a decrease. This is something Upland said was going to happen. This is the first iteration. We'll make adjustments as necessary and improvements as we continue to monitor its progress over the next few seasons. Neighborhoods will be evaluated based on season-over-season percentage growth in their rating scores. Top-ranked neighborhoods will receive a earnings boost increase to their collections, while bottom-ranked neighborhoods will receive a decrease. Earning boosts can range from 1x to 2.99x. That's exciting. So this is what I would point out. A lot of people, when they go for these rushes and races to get their score high enough or to work into being a new collection, what they've done is they've had people do things that are temporary. They've had people move their residences in for a short period of time. They've had people move their assets into the neighborhood, like their map assets, over a short period of time. If that is not something that you're able to sustain because you had people who came in for a short period of time, left and went to other neighborhoods, you're likely not going to see very good positive growth in your overall neighborhood score. And if that's the case, you're going to end up on the lower side of things. If you can't sustain your community, or if your community isn't continuing to be sustained and continuing to grow, you're overall going to lose those collection values and the multipliers at the very least. And if you continue to grow and continue to put effort in and continue to maintain the people who are in the neighborhood already, then that's when you are going to see the continued growth. And that's how you see the neighborhoods that are going to be upgrading their collection status, because they're the neighborhoods that are keeping the people who came to make them a collection in the first place, and B, are continuing to be active as of today. Neighborhoods that upgrade their collection rarity will enter a one-season cooldown period, during which they won't be eligible to earn an earnings boost. Additionally, if a neighborhood finishes last on the base level earnings for 2 consecutive seasons, it will be removed from the upgrade neighborhood. You could be downgraded, and then you could be booted. So if you are on the bottom of the leaderboard, and then you're on the bottom of the leaderboard again, you're no longer a community collection. While the collection remains intact, the neighborhood must secure first place on the neighborhood challenge leaderboard to regain entry to the upgrade leaderboard. Okay, so you're kind of on a little bit of probation. When a node boosts its earnings enough, its collection will increase in rarity. So you can increase your earnings without increasing rarity. If you push your earnings up far enough, you get a new rarity status. So you could go from being a limited to being exclusive, from being exclusive to being a rare, potentially from a rare to ultra rare. Take a look at that. Upgrading your collection's rarity level not only enhances the one-time reward, but also makes your neighborhood's collection even more valuable and more sought after. The table below outlines the earnings boost based on your ascending rarity value and what is required to get there. So, if you are first place, you see your earnings boost plus 0.3%, second plus 0.2%, third is plus 0.1%, fourth plus gets zero. So, if you're fourth place or further, you get zero. Last place gets negative 0.1%. You're losing some of your multiplier. Um, Collections rarity. As collections earn upgrades to earning boosts, they will also earn rarity levels changing up over time. The below table shows the corresponding displayed rarities. So if you have between 1.1.49, you're a standard collection. If you get to 1.5 to 1.89%, you become a limited collection. If you continue to push things up above 1.9 to 2.29%, you're an exclusive. If you can get your earnings ratio, your earnings boost up to 2.3 to 2.69%, or 2.3 to 2.69 times, you get a rarity, and 2.7 to 2.99 times, that is an ultra rare status. Again, this is done not over weeks, over months, not one season, many seasons, one after the other after the other. Jonathan Sawyer, there is a Quailwood call out. I know some other Quailwooders out there. The Neighborhood Collection Upgrade Challenge introduces a fresh layer of competition. Neighborhoods can boost their earnings, their collection's rarity over time. Not one season, but season after season. That's the idea of this competition. You keep being first place, first place, first place. You're going to get yourself from a limited to an exclusive, from exclusive to rare to ultra rare. And it's going to take place over months. And maybe if nobody can sustain that growth over time, they can't stay at the top of the leaderboard. Maybe no one will ever get to that ultra rare by collection status, but it is going to be a competition. I know a lot of people are going to put effort into, and it is something that takes place over a long period of time. We like to see those things because that is this idea of built-in sustainability, built-in growth, built-in activity. And if that's what we get out of this, that's not a bad thing. As this new challenge kicks off, we can't wait to see which neighborhoods rise to the top, take their collections to the next level. If you're new to collections ratings, here's a quick idea of how they work. Here we go. This is a quick one. Average spark hours are calculated in average number of residents, average number of meta ventures per property, the average SPH allocated for spark assets. That's the outdoor, aka outdoor core, where those assets are, how many are in that neighborhood per property. Average UPX contributed, number of paid sends, seasonal ornaments, neighborhoods with more active players. These are actually new. A lot of these are new. Upland says review, but these are new, right? The active players being a metric that's in there. The higher emphasis on seasonal ornaments, paid sends being part of it. These are all new things. This is kind of exciting to see these dynamics change a bit. As much as it would be sad to see your numbers fall. And again, I'm kind of hurt on this because I was part of a neighborhood that was about to hit collection. And I'm sure that this change is going to affect that. Neighborhood ratings are calculated and updated once per day. We understand that these factors might give smaller nodes an advantage since it might be easier to achieve higher per property statistics. To level the field, we've introduced grading curve, a grading curve to the calculations that give larger nodes an additional multiplier to level the field. They've already kind of done this. I think they're doing this even more than they've done in the past. The goal is to ensure a fair scoring method for neighborhood ratings. As such, there may be further adjustments to the grading curve or to the evaluation factors as we continue to measure results. This could be something that we could see a neighborhood that's pretty large, if the grading factor is improperly applied, they win, they shoot up the rankings. I hope that's not the case. But again, it de-emphasizes small neighborhoods. I've always loved small neighborhoods. It's one of my favorite things in the game of Upland. These micro neighborhoods, 20 properties, 30 properties, 40 properties. Obviously, that wouldn't be fair if a 30 property said, "Ooh, we got all 30 properties all built out. We should be a collection." I get that doesn't seem fair, but if you start looking at 300, 400, 500 property neighborhoods, those are pretty fun. Those are fun for small areas. And there's fun because you can have 40 or 60 people engaged in a neighborhood. But these large neighborhoods that have 6,000 properties, you're not going to have 6,000 different people engaged in that neighborhood. I like that idea that there's not, and it doesn't have to be with these small neighborhoods, a majority owner where someone owns 60% of the properties or 60 or 70 of the properties. And in these large neighborhoods that have 6,000, you have a lot of people who have 60 or 70 or 80 properties overall. It's a different story. It's a different story. It's kind of fun to see these small ones. And again, it's kind of weird because if there's so few properties, then it's hard for everyone to have three. It's a reality there. But again, we will see how this plays out. This is a season-to-season thing. If this season's weird, I'm sure Upland will make adjustments. If next season doesn't work as well, I'm sure Upland will make adjustments there as well. Benefits of neighborhood ratings. Again, this is a competition. It's fun to have competitions. We talk about gamification all the time. What can we do in Upland that feels like we're competing with each other and competing with ourselves? This is one of those things. There are 2 neighborhood rating competitions. Again, there is to spawn a new node, and then once you're a node, now that we're finally here over a year later, it's node v node. The nodes that have received a community collection now competing on a leaderboard to potentially upgrade their collection value. Any players who own properties in a node that spawned a collection can complete the collection. You have to have 3 properties or however many properties required for that collection. Keep that in mind. Neighborhood collection spawn competition. Again, we talked about that. The reality is here. Good luck to all neighborhoods. Enjoy the challenge. And again, if you are a neighborhood, and again, this is the flip side. The flip side of it's no longer the same competition anymore is it's no longer the same competition anymore. If you have a neighborhood and you've thought about competing and you haven't been competitive, keep doing the best you can do, because you may find that with the changes, we're going to see new neighborhoods end up towards the top of the list. And again, new neighborhoods at the top of the list means the ones that were top of the list may not be there anymore, and that's a shame. So it's 2 sides of the same coin. Take the advantages Upland's given you and keep competing. Have fun with it. That's ultimately what this should be viewed as though, although there's a small reward, it's really about the fun of community, building the group, and developing the neighborhood over time. Looking forward to that. And again, that starts on October the 1st. That's kind of a big news. Fan challenges update. I don't want to get too bogged down because I have to go to sleep tonight, but we'll get into this announcement. Touchdown. The first Upland bundles, obviously this has already started. First bundle sale happened today. The USD bundles are still available. The UpX bundles did sell out. Yes, all except for the essential ones. And we will continue to see these sales happen throughout the season. There are going to be more team essentials, and there's going to be more mixed essentials starting tomorrow the 20th. So that's something to watch out for. But the bundles, the pro, the starter, the pass, those are going to be sold on a weekly basis. So if you didn't get one this week, don't cry. Wait. There's an UpX side and there's a USD side. On the UpX side, they're not crazy priced. For me, this idea of 1-to-1, I don't think it makes sense, but Upland does. So, or not 1-to-1, to apologize, 1,000-to-1 for the UPX to the USD, but Upland continues to price this way. 25,000 UpX could have gotten you an NFLPA Pro bundle, or $25 could have bought the same package. I'm obviously going to try to get the one in 25,000 UpX. NFLPA Team Essentials are 5,000 UpX. The mixed bundles are 5,000 UpX. The starter, 15,000 UpX or $15. And then USD only is the only option for the NFLPA passes, guaranteeing yourself a unique mix of 5 legits and an 80% chance for a pass from the following weeks. And again, this is a difference because you used to be able to buy these that were a guarantee. This is 80%. So $50 does not guarantee you a memento. Keep that in mind when you are hunting for mementos this season throughout the year. Pretty simple. The details are already out there. Circle back if you need to, but this is what we already know. We're going to have passes this season. Same thing. You have a pass. You hold on to the pass. After the game, you find out what the pass is. It's that simple. What that pass could be when you exchange it. for something from that week, you do get the memento, and again, based on your fan score, that can affect the rarity. We've talked about this in the past. We've seen that before. Again, there are some pack hit rarities. What you likely are to get, helmets, jerseys, home and away, obviously, and a variant. So they do a home, they do an away. The variant is rare version. Oh gosh, and I just burnt a variant the other day, so I was like, oh, what an idiot. When we were doing a burning recently, but that is something that keep your eyes out for. That is kind of that pack hit rarity that Upland continues to emphasize. Let's get into the actual new. The new is right here. Season 4 of Fan Score Challenge. Get ready to dominate. We'll get into the realities here. Fan Score, it's been something that Upland has had to kind of work on. There's a couple things about it I'm not the biggest fan of, and we'll get into it. But the basics are, I want to see the old stuff have continued value and have a value to have held on to it for this time, and not to see buy the new one that has the most value. The old stuff, it's old stuff. I would love to see fan score tied to this old stuff and really have a value for the old stuff, the stuff that people bought years ago. The stuff that people bought sight unseen. I remember in 2020, the 2020 year, people paid money USD out for them. They didn't even see what the mock-ups looked like. They waited months. Those should have some special value. That's just my 2 cents. Obviously, Upland's going to try to emphasize people buying the newest, the latest, the greatest, and having that extra value that first season, maybe having a little bit of value down the line. But my gosh, it would be nice to have Upland support people and support the value and support the rarity and the collectability of something that is older, instead of being like, here's something shiny, come buy this shiny thing. That's just my thought. Let's get into the specifics of how things are actually working this season. The NFLPA Season 4 fan challenges are packed with rewards that go well beyond just bragging rights. Those who rise up the top to these challenges on the top of those leaderboards will have access to exciting prizes and an exciting prize pool that is filled with UPX Sparklet. I love that Sparklet is now finding its way into a lot of these contest pools. Block Explorers, badges, NFLPA Series T Championship trucks. That's exciting. The Special Series trucks, they tend to have enhanced statistics. They look better. They are a lot of fun. I'm glad they exist. And the prestigious Global Fan Score Champion Trophy. This year's challenges are designed to keep the excitement of this season alive throughout the regular season and into the playoffs. So stay engaged to maximize your chances of winning. Leaderboards will officially go live in the next few days. Team Fan Score Challenge. The Team Fan Score Challenge is a season-long competition, including playoffs, that tracks your fan score for each of the 32 teams. Your goal to climb to the top of the team's leaderboards by accumulating the most fan points for that team. The competition is fierce, but the rewards are worth your effort. Unlike previous seasons, listen to this. This is what makes Goldie cry. Only legits from the current 2024-2025 season will count towards your team fan score challenge. That means if you believed in Upland's NFLPA score, the legits, the idea of having these early poo-poo on you. Poo-poo on you. No, they're still collectibles. They still have collectible value, but it'd be nice if they had value, if Upland really gave value to them, because people believed in the product, in the project, when there was a differentiated price and a differentiated cost. People paid an extra price for them at a certain point, and it doesn't matter. It just doesn't matter. All right. So unlike previous seasons, like I said, only the 2024-2025 will count towards the Team Fan Score Challenge. This means the collecting and trading of this season's legits is more important than ever if you want to dominate the leaderboard and earn exclusive rewards. And again, what does this mean for the value of an old NFLPA legit? It means that they are going to be the value of what the market wants to give them. It means the utility on them is limited, and it means that they are all about collectibles. So if people see them as a collectible and they want to commemorate so-and-so's 2022 season and what they did in that season, then maybe they are still interested in having that legit or that memento. Details, leaderboards duration. Thursday, September 19th at 9 a.m. PT. It runs until the 21st of February, 2025. Eligible scores, only fan scores accumulated from the 2024-2025 season count. Anything before, too bad. Rewards. At the end of the playoffs, the top 10 players on each team's leaderboards will receive exclusive rewards, with the top 3 players getting the most coveted prizes. Rewards, like I said, 250 Sparklet to first to third, NFLPA Block Explorer, Team Fan Score Leaderboard Badge. Pretty good prizes. 250 Sparklets, nothing to, it's not. It's not. I was going to say nothing to shake a stick at, but 250 Spark is the same as 0.25 Spark. I remember these contests where you would get 0.1 to 0.25 Spark at the top of these contests. And the reality is 250 Sparklet is not worth what 0.25 Spark was before the release. 250 Sparklet is not even worth anywhere near what 0.1 Spark was worth, at least on the cost to purchase, or the opportunity cost, because in one case you bought it, not. But the 250 Sparklet is not worth what 0.1 Spark was worth back last season when it was a prize. So it is important to note that the overall monetary value, at least the opportunity cost, what it would have cost to buy it. Keep in mind, you can never sell the Spark. Now you can sell Sparklet. It makes it seem like it's a much smaller prize than what we had in the past. Just a thought, just something worth keeping in mind. But people can still compete for it. 250 Sparklet is still 250 Sparklet. It's still nice to have 250 Sparklet. It is worth competing for 250 Sparklet. But if you are trying to ascribe a financial aspect to this, how much money do I spend to compete in this contest versus what is my prize? Consider where Sparklet sits right now. Sparklet might have a different value in the future. Not telling you to look at it just solely as a USD speculative, but it is worth considering that is something that is a different prize, a differentiated prize from what it had been in previous seasons. 4th through 10th place get 25,000 Sparklet each. No, I apologize. Wish it was 25,000 UPX each. There you go. That makes more sense. Global Fan Challenge. For those aiming to prove their NFLPA loyalty across the board, the Global Fan Score Challenge is your ultimate stage. This leaderboard tracks players who have accumulated the highest fan scores for the 2024-2025 season overall, not just a one team or another. With key difference, scores from the previous NFLPA seasons will count. So this is a competition that having the NFLPA legits, holding on to them, having the mementos, that all counts to your Global Fan Score. The season for the team versus team, that is only this season. Okay, we know this, but I mean, again, we took some of the value away from the 2022-2023 season. It's nice to see there's a competition that does include those older fan scores. Season multiplier. The fan score season applies exclusively to your 2024-2025 legits. As you collect legits, the season multiplier boosts your overall fan score, helping you climb the leaderboards faster. Here's what to keep in mind. 2024-2025 multiplier applies only to legits from the current season. When the new 2024-2025 legits are released, your 2023-2024 legits have a lower fan score. If you have been accumulating legits from prior seasons, the season multiplier can give you a collective edge in the fan score. I would say, why not give people a higher score for holding on to these things the longer, as opposed to getting the new one? I don't know. Maybe because we want to sell new ones. I guess that makes sense. Rewards. First place gets 1,000 Sparklet. That's not horrible. Series T Champion Trim Truck. That's not bad at all. NFLPA Fan Score Trophy. That's not bad. Gold Jawsome Pigskin Block Explorer. That's not bad either. 2nd through 10th place, they get 500 Sparklet each. Not a bad prize. Series T Championship Trim Truck will be unveiled at a later date. And then Gold Jawsome Pigskin Block Explorer. All right. Not horrible. Here's that Block Explorer. 11th through 40th get 200 Sparklet. They get a Jawsome Pigskin Block Explorer. This one right here. 41st to 100th place get 100 Sparklet. And this Jawsome Pigskin Block Explorer. This one right here. Not this one right here. How to increase your fan score, collect NFLPA legits, pick up essentials and mementos from NFLPA bundles to grow your collection. Previous season legits count towards your overall fan score for the global fan score challenge. Complete NFLPA collections. That's a big one. You get the right collections, you get the right multipliers. That makes a big difference. Completing NFLPA collections will enhance your fan points values for your legits and will directly increase your fan score. Weekly NFLPA pass exchanges. Having a higher fan score increases your chances of a better momentum. That's a big deal. So if you continue to grow your fan score, you can continue to have a better chance of getting the better end of the stick when it comes to getting mementos when you are turning in passes to do so. 2024-25 season is your chance to prove your fandom, claim exclusive rewards that will set you apart from the rest. Whether you're aiming to dominate the team leaderboard or compete globally, the time to strategize and collect legits is now. Get ready to dive into the season of fierce competition, high stakes rewards, and epic bragging rights. That is again a support here of continuing to have the NFLPA legits. We know that they tie into your opportunity to earn some sparkle this season. That's separate from this contest. So you had this contest, you have another contest that ties into this season, essentially the building contest that is in New Orleans, and then you have again that NFLPA portion where you if you have NFLPA legits and you continue to grow those collections, having that fan score can augment your placement. Whoever you have the most fan points for, that's what team you're going to be representing. The winning team in building out New Orleans, whatever that team might be, they're going to share in prize. So it's kind of fun to see how that works. But that's kind of another use case of the NFLPA legits to determine what team you are representing when you're in New Orleans and competing. So important thing to keep in mind. And the reality is we're going to continue to see Upland support these in different ways. We've had a couple small surprises along the way when it comes to temporary contests and Upland adding contests along the way when it comes to NFLPA and other iterations or other contests that we've had in the game. So we continue to watch out that maybe that will be something Upland continues to do, may add it in the future. Otherwise, we will continue to see that people are going to compete and purchase for the collectability. People do see the NFLPA, some people, as things they want to collect to commemorate certain players. We've seen that not all values have held up over time in the NFLPA. We've seen upwards change some of the pricing schema, how much each thing's cost and how you can get a bundle versus individuals. But we'll continue to see that as Upland makes changes to the NFLPA and that partnership, the market will adjust. The market will adjust accordingly if you're looking at the value of your previous NFLPA legits, or if you're considering buying some new ones, the market will continue to adjust. You buy the new ones so you can compete in these contests along the way. Again, a couple other things worth noting this week, and a lot has happened so far. There is, again, the Sparklet import showdown that's happening right now. This will continue on to the 27th into next week. So if you haven't participated or you aren't participating, you still have the opportunity to do so. Keep in mind, this is about bringing Sparklet into the game of Upland. There's a couple ways you can do that. The most common way, the easiest way, is to go and bring your Sparklet back into the game of Upland that you already brought out. But the better way, the way that I think Upland hopes you do, is go and buy the market. If the market's low right now, buy a bunch out of the market, bring those Sparklet back in the game of Upland, do things with a Sparklet, because now you have a reason to do things with Sparklet. You always have, but you have more reason. The more reason is to compete in New Orleans, to build out the city of New Orleans as much as possible. As you're doing so, you're competing in two different Sparklet pools, one that's directly based on how much you're staking and what percentage of the overall city you help build out, or how you participate, I should say, in that competition. And then secondly, there is another separate Sparklet pool, which is essentially the same thing, except now it ties to your individual results, and then it ties that as a group to the team. So to a team, and that team is determined by who you have the highest fan score for. So again, you have two pools that you could be earning Sparkle from just by staking in the city of New Orleans. Keep that in mind. That is a good reason to bring Sparkle in the game of Upland. This additional incentive of potentially getting yourself a plane for bringing in one of the three highest values of Sparklet between now and the 27th. That's not a bad incentive either. And I do have to go back and touch on what I kind of had brought up front here. And I'm not going to read the whole announcement, but I can definitely say this is out there. This is an announcement that is out on Crypto News. This is more of a press release than it is an article. It's okay to say that. It is the reality. It was written and it was put out there, and it is promotional, and it is okay that it's promotional. But it does tell us what's going on. And what's going on without Upland specifically going out and putting an announcement in the game of Upland Layer 1. And then I'm sure they will at some point. XYO, Upland are having a partnership. XYO is a early crypto 2018 tied to locality, tied to geopositioning, essentially geopositioning data. They had a little device. I used to have one. They've had some other ways that works too, where you are mining crypto or earning crypto based on where you are, traveling through certain zones or being in certain zones at certain times and doing different mining activities to earn that XYO. Upland is a game that is based on virtual space mapped on top of the real world. And having a partnership together, though we don't have any direct details, having partnership together could be a beautiful thing, because it could mean that Upland's in the game of Upland virtual property could have some meshing, some merging with in-game or in real life activities, or in real life activities could have some effect on the Upland of the world, the Upland of how you participate. Ultimately, it is good to have those links between the real world and Upland. There becomes the question of how meta is the metaverse if we are doing a lot in the layer 1 world. I don't know. I think we're going to find out along the way. This is going to be a fun experiment. It could be a fun experiment. We've seen some partnerships materialize quicker than others. We've seen some partnerships be on a larger scale than others. Does not mean that this is going to upend or change the entirety of how the game of Upland's played, but it does mean that there could be a little bit of a different element here. And again, Upland took a little bit of a veer towards crypto when Sparklet was released. XYO is a crypto and a crypto community. It is a mining community more than anything, mining the crypto. And if that's going to come over, Upland's going to pull some of that over. We're going to continue to see that shift in Upland where there's that focus on Sparklet as a mined crypto. And then there's a utility that comes along with that mined crypto, with that earned crypto, however you earn that crypto. Again, I keep saying crypto because that's what Sparklet has become. However you earn that, then you bring it back and you have utility, and not just saying it and speculating and waiting for it to become something. It is something when you have it, because you could take that, stake that, and build something. So I like it. I like it in many ways. I think it is optimistic. I think it is something that could pan out quite well, but it has a lot left to be seen on it. Having an announcement without any specific finites, that is something that is just an opportunity to think about and to consider and to be excited about, but it is no guarantee, and we'll see more about what it means as we come down later on the pike. It is getting late for me, so I am going to adjourn the show with one last thing. This coming weekend, not this coming weekend, the following weekend, we are headed into Friday tomorrow as it is, but heading forward a week to 27th, Friday, the 28th, Saturday, Philadelphia. We will be seeing many people, hopefully, and maybe even more, on Friday the 27th, meeting at Dave & Buster's in Philadelphia. More details available if you choose to go take a look at the we have a Discord up, but if you go take a look, there we go. Community-led Upland meetup right here. If you want to jump in, and feel free to do so. Discord group. We get more details as far as address and all of that. And secondly, on Saturday, there's a tour in the old town portion of Philadelphia, the old city portion of Philadelphia. Getting into a few interesting places, going through the Liberty Center, going by the Liberty Bell, and doing a walk by a number of sites that, a lot of people love to see. Maybe you see a little Rocky Steps selection along the way, maybe a little Love Park along the way. Maybe we get a little history. Maybe you learn something. Maybe you see the portions of the city that make the city special, or portions of the city that make the city special, that kind of typify what I would love to see in an Upland tour in Layer 1 Upland, when we have some more of those city tours where you really feel the heart and soul. But in this way, it's in person, maybe it's going to feel a little more special. So love to see you there if you can make it. Again, that is not this weekend, but the following weekend in Philadelphia, real Philadelphia, not in virtual. Flesh and blood, beers in the belly at Dave and Buster's on Friday. Start at 7 o'clock p.m., running till probably 11. Maybe there'll be some other stuff happening. And then on Saturday, starting at 11 a.m. and running for a number of hours. I know there'll be some wrap up in the evening, getting some more beers, likely get some dinner. But again, that tour primarily focused between 11 a.m. and 4 p.m. I know it's a long time to be walking, but there'll be breaks and stuff along the way, and hopefully a lot of fun as well. But for tonight, thank you so much for being here. Monday through Friday, 7:30 p.m. PT. Get together in the Upland Cafe. Get together on Discord. Get together on Twitter and on YouTube, and we'd love to see you later at 7:30 p.m. PT. See you tomorrow. For tonight, thank you so much for being here. If you're in the Upland Cafe, please feel free to unmute your mic. The floor is yours.